Hello, I'm going to be making a quick little video here on how to change the spring in your Real Sword Type 97. Now, the spring change is very easy, but there is a trick involved that I'll mention later in the video. So first of all, before you get the gearbox out of your gun, be sure to fire it a time or two in semi-automatic and release the spring with this little spring release thing here. That's to make sure that your piston is all the way forward so the spring isn't compressed at all, so there's a lot less you gotta fight against to get this part off here in the back. Getting the gearbox out of the gun is very easy. You just gotta follow this little disassembly guide that came with your Type 97. Now the trick in getting the spring out of here is this screw in the back here. You gotta loosen it. About 3 or 4 180-degree turns should get it about right. You don't want it too loose, but you don't want it too tight either. So now that that's loose, next thing you gotta do is unscrew this screw here. Now the funny thing about this screw here is that there are really only threads down here. So even though it feels like you need to keep unscrewing it, that's just because the main spring in the gun is pushing against this metal part here, which is pushing against the screw. So just gotta push this part here back, and screw will come right out. So now you just gotta get a good grip on this part here, because the spring pushes it out pretty hard. Just gotta tilt it up, and the spring will come right out. Now if you didn't loosen this screw here, you won't be able to get it past this part here. Or I can't anyway. It just kind of gets stuck there. So now you can get your spring out, your spring guide out. Just put in your new spring, whatever you want to do. And you got to tighten the screw here back on. Tighten it as tight as you can get. Now you might have to wipe some lubricant off and get a paper towel to get a better grip on it so that you can tighten the screw. Tighten that as good as you can get it so that it doesn't turn at all. And now that that's on there, now that you wiped some grease off, you got to put it back on. So I use Garter Teflon grease. You can kind of low there. Just give it a nice light little coating. And once you got the grease back on, you're good to go. Now you just gotta put the spring guide back on here. And now push the spring guide in here. You gotta make sure to get a good grip on this part here because it's kind of hard. Tilt it up a bit, get this little lip back under there. And now push it down. Hold this with one hand. Screw, sorry. Just work with it a bit until the screw goes down there. Once the screw's tightened, it's ready to go, and you can put your gearbox back into your gun. Now, talking a bit about springs to use with this gun, I have a Garter SP140 spring in here, in an otherwise stock gun, except for the hop-up bucket. The poor man's chrono runs about 450 FPS as far as I can tell with 0.2 gram BBs. I'll edit a little annotation into the video to say how much FPS I'm really getting when I get back to the field and can use their chronograph. Now I emailed Real Sword and they said that the gun can take up to an M150 spring as a drop-in replacement as long as you're using the 10.8 volt battery. They said higher than the M150 spring caused them problems. So I hope this video helped, and I hope you enjoyed it.